Yes. Welcome to the Broadway Sports Wire. I'm your host, Broadway Twan.
And your co-host, Broadway Dre.
I want to formally introduce and welcome Broadway Dre to the podcast. He's going to be on here every episode with me. So we plan on doing this twice a week, every week for the remaining of our lives.
Yeah, something like that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're gonna be covering sports on a national level.
National level.
We will cover high school sports and stuff like that though, but even that on a national level. So
yeah.
I appreciate Broadway Twan for having me. Our vibe is great. We still got the Mission Statement podcast, which is every other week on the Spotify series of networks. So
shout out to Spotify.
Shout out Lady T too. Lady T is one of our co-hosts for the Mission Statement podcast. But we're gonna get started. Before I get started, I want to talk about one of our main sponsors. It is I want you guys to check out Lady T's Good Eats, which is an online restaurant where you can order and get your food either delivered to you or for pickup. It is served in the DMV area. You can get in contact with the website through cooking.com. She just starting out. Invested a lot of time and money into it, so definitely give her a good look. The food is excellent. I can vouch for it myself. So shout out Lady T's Good Eats.
And make sure you go when you do go on Cooks. What's it called? Cooks?
Cooking.com.
Cooking.com. You search Lady T.
Yep.
You can't just go in there and can
yeah,
you?
no.
Y'all go in there.
Definitely search it up. Lady T's Good Eats. She got pictures of her food, videos, all types of stuff, and she's a chef by trade. So it's not like something that she's cooking up at her house. So definitely check her out. The food is excellent, and yeah.
So we knew Cam Ward was gonna go first. That was in the bag. Right. Was in the bag.
I think everybody knew that at that point. Yeah.
I knew he was gonna go first. But after that, it got surprising. I didn't know.
I think it got surprising more with the teams though, not with the picks.
Yeah. It got surprising. I didn't know Jacksonville was gonna be the one that was gonna end up with Travis Hunter. That was surprising for me. But in the previous episode, I did say Jacksonville needs a jump start because of the low attendance, because of the inconsistent play of the quarterback and of everybody over there. I think a good coach got fired from there. Was it Doug Peterson?
You could say Doug Peterson a good coach? Oh yeah, I think he's a
he won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, right?
Yeah, but it was okay.
Come on.
My bad.
Come on.
When it comes to coaching though, I think more so it's a combination of how good of a coach you is along with the team. Of course, we all know that though. But
coordinators too.
We done seen good coaches in NBA, NFL, and MLB all lose their jobs. So yeah, I think it's a combination of both. But yeah, he's a pretty good coach.
Yeah, I mean, I would expect him to be a coordinator somewhere probably real soon. But yeah, so they lost a good coach. I mean, Khan. I mean, I'm not sure what type of owner Khan is, but man, it seems like he just. It seemed like his main focus. It seems like he's trying to get serious now that he got a good quarterback. But it seems like his focus is never winning. His focus is always ticket sales and shit, in which he's doing a terrible job at.
We had a conversation offline, off the camera. Yesterday we was talking about homegrown owners compared to owners that's like coming from what I'm saying is basically like if you got an owner that's from, let's say, Dallas,
okay,
and he owns the team,
okay,
he's more inclined to win compared to if you got, let's say, the Miami owner. You got a lot of shareholders that's owners with the team. You got Serena and Venus Williams. They part owner of the team. Yeah, they want to win, but they're not going to invest like a homegrown owner will.
Yeah, but teams like that, I feel like the only reason why they have that so many shareholders is because of the owner's not as rich as the owner of like Kraft or somebody like that.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100%.
You know what I mean? Like Serena and them has no interest in. They can't even make decisions because they don't hold a major stake in the company. You know what I mean? They just minor shareholders. Kind of like if you buy stock in Nike.
Like Usher with the Cavaliers.
Yeah, Cavaliers, whatever. But how you feel about the draft in a whole? I mean, who was your biggest losers? Who was your biggest winners?
I'm gonna start by saying the NFL has the best draft.
Yeah.
Because from pick 1 to the last round, every pick matters.
Yeah.
Compared to the NBA where you got after like the first 15 picks, it really don't matter no more. Like after the lottery, you really don't really pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Because half the players don't even make the team. I mean, NFL, some players don't make the team too late in the rounds. Yeah. But that's neither here nor there. I think the draft was great.
You got Brock Purdy in the last pick of the
draft. You see that shit? I mean,
Super Bowl.
I mean, in NBA, you got Draymond Green and players like that going draft.
Yeah. Anyway. Bronny, my man Bronny. Shout out my man Bronny.
Yeah, he got to do something first. But anyway.
Oh my God.
Anyway, I think one of my winners was probably Cleveland, maybe. Just for the fact that they can get Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. I think the value of that, he might be a starter, and his salary wouldn't be as of a Cam Ward who's making $40-something million over the life of a 3 or 4 year deal.
That's how we robbed that man though. Like, and it's still, and you know the bad thing, I don't want to really get into this right now, but it is still reports coming out of that he ain't do the draft process well. Let the shit be. You already to rob them of a chance of going first round when you know he was clearly the second best quarterback. And some pundits say he was the first quarterback. The best quarterback in the draft. But
see, this would mean you disagree at.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
I think your pre-draft interviews is just as important as your talent.
You know how many quarterback, you know how many players,
Brian Leaf, you know how many talented quarterback,
no, you know how many players bomb that? You know how many players bomb that?
But it's important. If you can't articulate plays, or you don't, I know he can.
How true you think it is, though? You think? Yeah, of course. I think it's a lie. Are you serious?
Listen. I think he purposely did it. I think he can articulate plays. I don't think he wanted to go to the Giants. I think they put him in his place. They put a black man in his place. I ain't gonna go there, but they put him in his place. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. Do I agree with it? Not necessarily. I think talent should overspeak over all. He's a confident kid. It wasn't like he had off character issues or off the field issues.
You ain't gonna tell me a player that had an 80% passing percentage when he not getting knocked around.
80% passive percentage with a clean pocket.
With a clean pocket, whatever. It's 80 and 70 when it ain't.
Yeah, you're right.
Now that he won Big 12 Player of the Year, he was the best quarterback in the country last year. You're not going to sit back and tell me you ain't going to say that's collusion.
That's up for debate.
That's collusion.
I still think Cam Ward a better quarterback.
Yeah, I can say that.
I think Cam Ward a Donovan McNabb type of quarterback. I think Shedeur Sanders is more like a Dante Culpepper. And Dante Culpepper in his heyday, he gets you 4,000 yards, 36 touchdowns.
My man Shady said Cam Ward was a 0-star prospect coming out of high school.
Yeah.
It's hard for him to. I get what he's saying. Shedeur, I want you to prosper so hard in the NFL that you make all them teams that passed on you on purpose because of your dad.
Your own team passed on you 4 times, bro.
Yeah, your own team passed on you 4 times. Show out, bro. Please. Prove them wrong. Show out. So how you feel about Abdul Carter going to the Giants? How you feel about him as a prospect?
Who was it?
Abdul Carter.
Is he going to play edge or is he going to play outside linebacker?
Edge.
I like him a lot. I just want to make sure that he's 6'3", 250. Quick off the edge, strong enough.
Yeah.
I think he'd do fine. I think the Giants have one of the best defensive linemen.
And remember, they got Burris from.
They got Burris. They got Thibodeau. They got
Carolina.
They got Burns. They got Thibodeau. They got Abdul Carter. They got some good outside linebackers. They're gonna be formidable. It's just about the quarterback for them. But I think Abdul Carter makes sense for them.
So you say
I think Cleveland should have got him.
So you say Cleveland was the winners?
Yeah, I think Cleveland was the winners.
My winner is probably I want to say between the Bears and Las Vegas. Las Vegas filled a huge need with Gentry. I think they could be a playoff team this year.
Yeah, I think they could.
Shit with Bowers and the wide receiver they got, the guy with I forgot what his name is, on the outside. They got a formidable. I think they address some needs that they. I think Las Vegas might be a playoff team this year. I really do.
I question Cleveland's first pick though. I think they should have got Travis Hunter.
Cleveland. Oh, so you think Cleveland shouldn't have traded out?
I don't think Cleveland should have traded out
Because they gave up the first round.
Yeah. for a D tackle that's undersized, and in my standards, undersized. Because you play in the AFC North, when you're going up against Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and those physical offensive lines, maybe Cincinnati you can get away with, but Baltimore and Pittsburgh twice a year.
Yeah.
It's going to be difficult to try to move. He's 6'4", 296. They put him more of a Christian Wilkins type of comparison. If you comparing him, he'd be more of a Christian Wilkins. It's a Christian Wilkins that played for Oakland. Got signed to Oakland.
I really like Christian though.
Yeah, but would you spend a number? What he went number fifth. Where you go? He went number 5th overall.
Yeah, I spend.
Would you spend it on Christian Wilkins?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would.
All right.
I would. Yeah. I would. If you was redrafting his draft class, he would go top 10.
But would he go top 5 though? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, he would go top 5, depending on need.
Let me ask you a question. Last year, will Cam Ward be number 1 pick?
Who came out last year? Who's the quarterbacks that came out last year? Caleb Williams?
Caleb Williams, Jalen Daniels, Bo Nix.
Nah.
J.J. McCarthy.
Nah.
They say he'd go probably after J.J. McCarthy. I think he'd go before J.J. McCarthy.
If J.J. was to come out this year, he'd be number 1 pick.
I have a hard time. I watched J.J. McCarthy exclusively in college.
At Michigan, right?
I didn't see first round pick out of J.J. McCarthy. He didn't have the opportunity to throw the ball as much.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying?
An awesome running back.
And he had the game plan was strictly run away.
They had two awesome running backs.
With Jim Harbaugh was there last year, right?
Yep.
He got suspended and he went through all the stuff with
still won the championship.
Yeah, still won the championship. Yeah.
Carolina picked the wide receiver out of Arizona. I think that was a good pick.
Great pick. They Bryce Young need all the help he can get. I think he had Adam Thielen as his number 1 receiver last year.
My only question for Bryce Young is, can he deliver the ball?
Yeah, if you think about the last half of last season,
can he be a gunslinger?
He was a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
If Kyler Murray can throw the ball, I'm pretty sure he can. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand exactly what you said.
How you think? We're gonna stick to the draft. We'll talk about like NFL teams per se in another episode.
How you feel about San Francisco pick? They picked the guy from out of Georgia, Michael Williams.
Offensive line?
No, edge rusher.
Let me look at his profile. 6'5", 260. Powerful pass rusher with length. I think that when you draft these players from Georgia, Alabama, LSU, I think they come pro ready.
Yeah.
So you get the person that can step in immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I think a lot of times they expect a lot out of these players in the first year.
Yeah.
Instead of letting them grow into their position. So we'll see.
You got to think San Francisco been bracing, been letting a lot of people go, bracing for that contract. With,
but it's like they scared of a full blown rebuild. But they just
they bracing. No, they do. They got to brace because they got to pay their quarterback. So they got to cut some heads. They're not trying to rebuild because you can't rebuild in San Francisco. Not after you gone to the Super Bowl with the quarterback that you got.
But is the quarterback bringing you to the Super Bowl? Or is it a product of the?
It's the product of the system. We all know it's
so how much are you
paying?
Well, we'll get into that later on. We're talking about the draft, but yeah, that's a whole nother question to ask.
What? How much are you paying Brock Purdy? Brock Purdy, he already been went on record saying he won $50 million a year. I mean, he took his hands to the Super Bowl.
But is it a product of the system?
It doesn't matter. He's a quarterback.
If it's a product of the system, let me get in shape and I can take you to the Super Bowl.
It doesn't matter. He still is a product of going to the Super Bowl. If you're paying Trevor Lawrence damn near $60 million a year, if you're paying Dak Prescott damn near $60 million a year.
Now, hold up now.
Now the quarterback market.
Dak Prescott proved that
he won one playoff game. That's the only thing he proved.
You're right.
That's the only thing he's proven to me.
Regular season he proved.
All right, but that's not. I mean, come on, like let Lamar Jackson just be a regular season quarterback.
He is.
I mean, he is, but
he is.
Y'all be giving him the blues, but that's neither here nor there.
My favorite quarterback, but yeah, he is.
What was your best pick in the draft?
Malachi Starks. I got two. The Ravens' first 2 draft picks was the best picks, the best value picks in the draft to me.
No, first round.
Malachi Starks.
Yeah, I seen him get exposed in the Alabama game.
Yeah, one game. He ain't gonna have too many times when he get exposed. His instincts is too good. He can read defenses. He can play multiple positions. He can play the slot. He could play the deep center field safety, or he could play up in the box.
Yeah.
I think him and Kyle Hamilton is going to be a formidable duel, especially with Darius Washington.
Yeah, you can throw him in the slot. You throw either one of them in the slot.
You can mix match it however you want to do it.
Yeah.
And they also got Blade that came from Maryland last year. He was a 6th round pick, but he can hit.
What about TJ Tampa?
I'm excited to see how TJ Tampa looks.
He's 4th round pick, right?
Yeah, but he's a big safe. He's a big corner.
Yeah.
And the only reason why he slid because he didn't test well when it came to speed.
Yeah.
Now speed is everything, but these players know how to play.
Yeah. Plus, I seen some flashes last year. Out of him.
TJ Tampa, yeah.
I really like TJ Tampa.
I think one of the teams that reached in the first round was the Colts. The Colts drafted the tight end Tyler Warren out of Penn State. He was projected.
Hold on, you said they reached?
Actually, no, they didn't reach. It was.
I'm about to say,
it was another team.
Tyler Warren was projected to go top 10 all year. He slid.
There's another team that chose a.
Who you talking about? The Cowboys? If anybody reached, it was the Cowboys.
Okay.
If anybody
Somebody
reached
for a tight end though.
You talking about the tight end from out of Michigan, and you ain't reaching for him either.
No. Let me see. No, he was ranked number. He was the 2nd ranked tight end.
Yeah, you're not reaching for him either.
Let me see. Who somebody reached for a tight end.
And I don't think nobody else took no tight ends in the first round.
You're right. I was looking at Mason Taylor from LSU, but he was a 2nd round pick, and he was projected to be a 2nd round pick.
Yeah.
My bad, guys. I was looking at it wrong. I thought one of the tight ends was a reach.
I think 2 tight ends went in the first. I think 2 tight ends went before a wide receiver went.
Yeah. Good thing about the NFL draft, you can get good talent in the 2nd and 3rd, 4th, 5th rounds too.
Yeah. You can get. I mean, look, Tyreek Hill. He went the 6th round.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a lot of players that didn't go high in the first round, and you got Hall of Famers that went in late rounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. The NFL draft was exciting. Biggest loser of the draft.
Biggest loser of the draft. Let's see. Biggest loser of the draft. I'm actually looking at the teams right now in their first round picks exclusively. I want to say Cincinnati. Cincinnati drafted first round draft pick was Shamar Sanders out of let me see, where he come from? Shamar Sanders. No, actually Cincinnati pick was Demetrius Knight. No, it was Shamar Sanders. I'm sorry. It was Shamar Sanders out of Shamar Stewart. I'm sorry, out of Texas A&M. Yeah, my bad. I'm looking at the players that I was in the 2nd round. Shamar Stewart out of Texas A&M. He had 4.5 sacks in 4 years. So they basing that off of metrics and how he performed at the combine.
What is he though?
He's a linebacker, outside linebacker.
And he had 4.5 sacks in 4 years?
Yeah,
now,
he's an edge.
Now, how many years did he start? It had to be the last 2, right?
3 seasons.
He started 3 seasons, only had 4.5 sacks as a combined 3 years?
3 years, yep.
And he went in what round?
First round, he went.
Yeah, they reached.
17 pick.
Yeah,
17.
They reached. That was crazy.
Yep.
That was crazy. But Cincinnati really didn't have a need in no area.
They needed defense.
They spent a lot of money.
They needed defense.
They needed to replace. They got to replace Hutchinson because he's asking for a lot of money, and you just paid Hendrickson, whatever his name is, and you got like $200 million tied up in the 3 players.
Yeah, but you got to think though, Cincinnati defense was terrible.
Yeah,
you had to add to the defense, especially in free agency. You're having trouble bringing players back, not adding to the team. Trey Henderson led the whole NFL in sacks last year.
Yeah.
And I think it was a bad move trying to bring back T. Higgins on the deal you brought him back when you got Trey Hendrickson sitting right there. Do you know how much of a glorified position? Not glorified. Let me not say that. Do you know how much of a special position Edge is? Edge is right under being a quarterback as far as like value.
Yeah. Especially money wise. Offensive lineman, then Edge. Yeah.
Even production though, if you got a good offense, or you got a good defensive line, that covers up a lot.
Yeah, it covers up the secondary and everything.
Everything. If you ain't got time to get the ball out, then it's.
So your biggest loser was Cincinnati.
Yeah, Cincinnati. I don't see. I mean, I'm looking at the draft picks. They got Shamar Stewart at the first round. Second round, they picked up Let me see what they picked up. Second round, they picked up a linebacker, Demetrius Knight,
From what college?
South Carolina. And he was projected to be a third round pick. It was 94th overall, and they picked him up 49th.
Yeah,
So they was kind of.
He reached.
But every team values players differently.
Yeah.
So saying is a reach is different, but his production wasn't up there like you would think.
Yeah.
Especially with Mike Green still on the board. You understand? In Cincinnati, they got questionable history when it comes to picking up character players. What was the player they had? Burfict?
Yeah.
He had questionable character.
Questionable.
What was
really
the
questionable
cornerback
character.
they had? Pac-Man Jones?
Yeah, but he ain't had no questionable character.
He had a couple incidents off the field.
Yeah, but you said his character was questionable?
When I mean questionable character, I mean off the field incidents and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, but shit, something can happen that's outside of their control, and then...
But I don't think it was with him, though. That's what I'm saying.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, I ain't hit it down another man.
Yeah,
we being real. We being real.
All right, man, let's go to this NBA, bro. Second round starting. Second round of the NBA starting. And my team, the Lakers, ain't survived. But I knew with them going into this series that it was gonna be tough because Ant-Man don't play. You know what I mean? He don't play at all. So
who would they play in the second round? They play with the Clippers or the... No. Who would they play in the second round? OKC?
yeah. No, OKC played. Yeah.
OKC.
OKC played Minnesota. Yeah.
So OKC and Minnesota. What you think?
OKC in 5.
Okay. Dallas beat OKC last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
OKC learned from that though. They went and got Hartenstein. They went and got what's the bald head white boy name?
Caruso.
They went and got Caruso. They got so many defenders, yo. It's hard to beat them, bro. What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm just thinking about their experience with OKC. They was number 1 seed last year also, but got knocked out by Dallas. Was Kyrie playing with Dallas last year? Kyrie?
Yeah.
Kyrie playing, all right. But that was a Lucas show.
Yeah.
To be honest, Randall adds a different element to the series because of his strength, his quickness, and his playmaking. He averaged 22 points a game in the last series. LeBron James had trouble trying to stop him. His defense, Randall defense ain't too shabby, but I'm thinking that Minnesota can outscore OKC.
And what?
Points.
You must.
Yeah.
You telling me right now that you must not watch OKC this year?
Yeah, I know they top 5 defense.
You couldn't have because ain't no way you outscoring OKC, bro.
Yeah.
Ain't no way in this world. I bet every game that done my.
Remember now, but also remember that I look at OKC as a regular season team. Now they beat up on Memphis, but Memphis was kind of flawed. And the game's starting to half court. And you start matching up. I put McDaniels on Shea. Simple as that. And I put what's the second player?
Who Williams?
OKC, Williams.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Shea averaged 30 points a game this year.
All right. Okay.
I don't fuck who you put on him.
All right.
Hey, yo, and is a good defender.
Okay.
He ain't gonna shut Williams down either. Okay. Hey, yo, you got what's the big white boy name?
Chet Holmgren.
You got him.
Put Gobert on him.
Yo, you got players out the business to just put 30 in Wiggins from Maryland. You got
Wiggins ain't putting up 30 on nobody in the playoffs. Bro. Stop.
Crazy.
Stop.
You crazy. They too deep.
And you know what?
They too deep.
I like Wiggins. Wiggins one of my favorite players because he played at Maryland. Maryland my team. And I know Wiggins. I watch him exclusive. Like, he ain't putting up 30 on nobody in the playoffs.
Bro, listen to what I'm saying.
On another team, he the 8th man.
Listen
you
to
crazy?
what I'm saying.
Come on, bro. And like I said, shout out to Aaron Wiggins. That's my guy.
5 is going 5, yo. OKC in 5. 4-1. 4-1.
All right.
OKC in 5.
We got Boston and New York. I got Boston in 4.
Yeah. I got Boston in 5.
Okay.
Should I give New York 1? I give him 1 at the Garden. I give him 1 at the Garden.
And they probably gave First game in the Garden.
Game 3 at Game 1 in the Garden. To get the first 2 games, Boston gonna take them.
They only gonna do is put Brunson and or Carl Anthony Towns in them pick and roll actions all game.
Yeah,
all game.
You know,
all they do is come around that pick screen, and Carl Anthony Towns ain't guarding nobody. So now it gave me pause for a minute because I know that New York does have good perimeter defenders with Bridges and.
New York went out and drafted and got in free agency to beat Boston. They ain't worried about nobody else but Boston, beating Boston.
That's they ain't sure that in the regular season, though.
I mean, no, they ain't sure that against anybody. They ain't sure that against anybody in the regular season. For any of the top teams.
Yeah.
Think about New York.
Boston a bad matchup for them, though, bro.
Yeah.
That's the worst possible matchup they could have had was Boston.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they could have beat anybody but Boston. And on paper, it looks like a good matchup. But Boston, man, like I said, Boston starts shooting threes.
And they well coached.
If they start shooting threes.
They got the most threes in history.
And they start, and like I said, they can shoot threes, but they also can drop to the basket. Mm-hmm. And Derek White is underrated.
Yes.
Derek White is underrated. Now Asor Thompson, was that Asor Thompson that was playing again for Detroit?
Yeah.
He got shook. You see that? Did you see the last basket from New York?
Yeah.
He shook him. I mean, he gave him the whoop.
Oh, yeah, he shook him. Yeah, he shook him.
It wasn't no push-off. Nah, he ain't push-off at all.
I'm going to tell you something about Brunson, though. Brunson is the push-off king.
He ain't push-off on that one, though.
He probably didn't. But he's the push-off king, though. And he push-off on every possession. Hey, I seen a picture on Instagram where they freeze it. And he yo, he's the push-off king. I like Brunson, though. I mean, he's a little guard. I like him a lot. He got a lot of heart. And he wear New York on his back.
And he clutch.
And he's definitely clutch. He's definitely clutch. I don't think he get the recognition that he deserves at half the time too. You know what I mean? I like how he rides, but then you got Indiana and Cleveland. How you feel about that?
I think that's gonna be a tougher series than expected for Cleveland. I don't want to say I put Cleveland with the OKC territory as like a regular season team, but this is pressure for Cleveland because they number 1 seed. They won 60-something games. You got to show and prove. That first round series, so they played against Miami, which is totally flawed. They beat the shit out of Miami.
Yeah, they fucked Miami.
They put belt to ass against Miami.
Yeah, they fucked Miami, yeah.
So we'll see how going up against a tougher opponent, how they would fare, especially with that game slowing down like it is.
Yeah.
I got Cleveland in 6.
Yeah, I got Cleveland. I got Cleveland in 6 too. Cleveland in 6.
You got the Clippers in Denver, Game 7. They playing in Denver.
I want to say Denver playoff experience is going to push them over the edge. But I will say this. I'm going to tell you this, and mark my words. If the big three in Cleveland score 20 points like they did last night, yeah, LA gonna win the series. Powell, Harden, and Kawhi, if all three of them score 20, ball game.
Harden had more turnovers than points, than field goals made.
When last night?
Harden got to step up, y'all.
Yeah.
26 times he had more turnovers than he had field goals made.
He got to fix that. He got to fix it.
This is who he is. The Clippers did not want this game to go to 7. They want the series to go to 7.
And look what happened.
They did not, because if you got to go to Denver and win the game in that altitude against that rocking ass crowd,
that's what I said.
All Jokic got to do is go off.
Yeah.
In a one game set, I might go Denver.
Yeah.
And I wanted the Clippers to win because I want to see Harden and them get a championship.
Yeah, I want to see it too, but it looked like it's not gonna happen. And you should have took care of Denver when you had them down.
Did Golden State win the series yet, or they got Game 7?
Yeah, I think they got a Game 7.
Game 6.
Okay,
that's tonight, I think.
Yeah.
I give it to Golden State playoff experience.
Yeah.
And Jimmy usually a whole nother beast in the playoffs.
Playoff
whole
Jimmy.
nother beast.
Playoff Jimmy. That's who he is.
So yeah. What's up with the Lakers? Where do the Lakers go from here?
The Lakers need to go out because from the looks of it, I think they bench might have scored 4 points in the whole game. So they got to go out and get some scores. They got to go out. I don't know if they got someone in the farm system in the G League. I don't know what they got in the G League, but it looked like Bronny was taking over down there. But
can I ask you something?
What's up?
Look at all LeBron James teams ever. Do it seem like the bench played timid on every team that he played on? or even the supporting cast, not named Wade and Bosh and them.
Yeah, it's all because all teams are always built around him. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Teams are always built around LeBron, around his skill set.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna have too many dogs on this team. You might have another Kyrie, another dog, and you might have rest of them gotta be shooters. Because now a lot of times they like double team LeBron,
And they be shooters everywhere else, but when they get to LeBron James teams, they don't be shooters.
Yeah.
Like, I noticed that too. One thing I'm gonna say, I think if I was LeBron James, I'd retire.
Yeah.
Because if his game is not predicated on ball watching, and
Yeah.
with Luka slowing the game down as much as he do, I think LeBron James' presence is just too much to bear.
I think the Lakers need a center. I think the Marcus Williams trade. I think if they would have had Marcus Williams, they would have. Mark Williams, they would have probably won the series.
Mark Williams averaged 15 points, 11 rebounds,
Yeah.
2 blocks.
Cause yeah,
failed Lakers trade.
Yeah.
They dropped the ball.
And you see his tweet after the game. You see his little cryptic tweet. But man, the Lakers. I don't know where they go from here.
Luka Doncic got to get in shape.
Yeah, he did.
Luka Doncic got to get in shape.
He did.
He has to get in shape.
He did. He definitely did.
He cannot not be in shape.
Yeah, he played terrible defensively that game. Terrible defensively. But
I seen Randall take him to the cleanest like 4 or 5 times.
yeah,
Who you got winning championship? Let's go there. I got Boston.
I don't want to
From
go there.
what I'm seeing now, I got Boston.
We got next week to get to that.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, we got next week to get to that.
But before I do go, before we sign off, and like I said, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. This is something we doing twice a week, so you definitely gonna hear us and see us. It's not gonna do nothing but get bigger and better from here. Before we leave, we got a big boxing event, first time on the East Coast where we got outdoors boxing. Is it East Coast? Yeah, at Times Square we have a Saudi Arabia. I gotta think of the name of what they call. Actually, it's the Ring Magazine. They formed with the Ring Magazine. They got an event coming up this weekend. It's probably the biggest event in boxing in a couple years as far as like the fight card. They have Teofimo Lopez versus Barbosa Jr. They have Ryan Garcia versus Rolando Romero. They have Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez on the same card. That's astronomical. I can't wait to tune into this. I'm going to be up all night looking at the fights, looking at the podcast that comes after it, post-fight and all that. It's going to be a big event. I get more into it with you guys in a couple days in our next episode. No. You know what? Tomorrow is the boxing match, so I do post-fight right after that. But it's going to be a big event. We also got a Canelo fight in Skull for the IBF middleweight championship. Canelo lost it because he didn't do his mandatory. Is what I was thinking about. But yeah, we'll get more into that. So after tomorrow, we'll talk about it. We'll get into it, and I'll give you my post-fight analysis. So yeah, that's what we're looking forward to. We got a couple games coming up. We got the Rockets and the Golden State Warriors coming up tonight. And we should be looking forward to second round matches coming up, I think, Sunday and Monday. So
Sunday and Monday, yep.
NBA, hey, this is the best time for the NBA.
Yes.
Best time.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to our listeners, our sponsors. Broadway Sports Wire. Signing off. Remember, follow us on Twitter at TWAN3P, Broadway Sports Wire. That's our Twitter page.
Follow us on YouTube.
And we blue checked up, so
follow us on Instagram, Misstatement Podcast.
Definitely. So, yeah, Broadway Twan and Broadway Dre signing off. We out.